When I first introduced this YouTube channel to you, the reader, the viewer, I told you we'll be discussing issues and sharing information pertaining to the St. Lucian, the local St. Lucian scene, the regional Caribbean scene, and international scene focusing on Africa. Today, what I am here to do is to give you more details and some specifics as it pertains to those issues. First, on the issues pertaining to local St. Lucian scene, we'll discuss food security as it pertains to availability. That's what it means. Food security, availability, affordability, and accessibility. We're trying to keep an ongoing discussion, a national discussion on the issue of food security. And that's what I intend to do as we evolve um, with this broadcast. We kept on asking the questions. Can St. Lucia feed itself? That's one of the themes I think we had at one of the one conference which I attended in Odyssey. Can St. Lucia feed itself? That's the question. If this is the case, or if not the case, whose business it is to feed St. Lucia? Is it that of the farmer? Is it that of the politicians? Or is it the responsibility of the entire country to take part in shaping a food security system that we can all be responsible for in feeding them, in taking up our responsibilities to feed their nation? Who really cares? Do we really care about the issue of food security? Why are we not doing better when it comes to food security, producing enough to feed ourselves? Who are the threats to food security? Do we have any threats? So these are questions that will be coming up and we'll be discussing. I am not an expert on these issues, so we'll be getting help from others, experts who will be coming. We'll be discussing those issues. That's important. The second issue I think is important for St. Lucia to discuss is crime and criminality. We need to define the terms, what they mean. We have to study the strategy of crime prevention that we have. Are we ready to deal with the crime situation? What are the effects of crimes on the society as a whole? What is the impact of crime on adult versus youth versus children? That's very important. We need to ask the question, is force always the answer to fighting crime? The third issue that we are dealing with, I want to deal with in the coming days, gender relations, man versus woman, girls versus boys. We need to discuss that issue. And the reason that we need to discuss that issue, because we have a situation in St. Lucia where apparently we think or we believe or we advance the debate that the success of one gender, it has to be advanced at the expense of the other. And it's causing a lot of situation. It causes a situation where you have conflicts among the genders. What is the value of coexistence as it relates to the development of men and women? Must the success of one be at the expense of the other? Why are so many of our young men made to feel guilty because they are male? We can see that in our society. That's happening in our society. The relationship between the black man and the black woman, in my opinion, in the Western world, is the result of colonialism. And we have to try to understand it from that perspective. That's very important. The fourth issue that we are dealing with, we want to deal with as it relates to local issues, which is simply courtesy, basic courtesy, basic ethics, self-respect. I'm saying this because the way we treat each other in our society, as we relate to each other, when we go into in the for services, to get government services, whether it is in the supermarket that we go, whether it's basic service that are mundane services that people have to do every day, and they just not very nice about offering those services. So therefore, so we have to ask the question: do we have a class problem in St. Lucia? Is there a class problem? Do we treat each other on the basis of class, or we treat each other because we have to be courteous to each other, respectful, and because we are basic human beings? Let's move on to the issues of regional Caribbean scene, the regional Caribbean scene, issues that put into that. Reparation is one of the issues that we need to deal with, and then it's not been discussed. So in the coming days, what we'll do, we'll try to discuss those issues, and we'll try to keep them alive. We have to discuss the post-traumatic slave disorder or syndrome. That's one of the issues that we need to discuss in the um, in the coming days. We want to discuss African Caribbean Renaissance, Haiti, Venezuela, Cuba, the axis of resistance as the axis of resistance. That's all for the Caribbean scene. International perspective. We need to discuss CARICOM, St. Lucia, part of CARICOM, and de-dollarization, multipolar world, and BRICS. So these are the issues that I want to be discussing in the coming days. And that's the end of the video. I hope you'll watch it and and join the discussion. Thank you very much.